Hello everyone, welcome back to the GlideScript, and this is day 7 of our ServiceNow scripting series, and together we are on the no code to pro code journey. In the last video, we learned about the conditional statements in JavaScript. We saw how JavaScript can make decisions using if else, if, and switch statements. Today we are going to learn another fundamental concept in JavaScript, and that you will use almost everywhere, not only in JavaScript but also later in ServiceNow scripting. And today's topic is loops in JavaScript. So in this video, I will cover what is loop, why do we need loops, difference between repetition and iteration, types of loops available in JavaScript, and when to use different loops. So let's start with our first topic. Why do we need loops in our programming? So let's start with a simple question. Suppose I ask you to display the message on the console. If I'll write this code and ask you to just print the message. If I'll run it, there is a message, welcome to the GlideScript. Printing it once, it's very easy. Now imagine if I ask you to print the same message 10 times. So what you'll do, you will write it 10 times and so on. And if I'll run this, it will print. But now imagine if I ask you to print it 100 times or 1000 times or even more. So will you write the same line 1000 times? Of course not. So instead of writing the same statement repeatedly, JavaScript gives us a much better solution, and that solution is called loop. So now let's know about what is a loop. So loop is a control structure, as you can see here, that allows a block of code to be executed repeatedly until a specified condition is met. So let's make this definition simple. A loop is a way of telling JavaScript, repeat this block of code again and again until a particular condition becomes false. So instead of writing the same code multiple times, we write it only once and let the loop repeat it for us. So next is why loops are important. So loops save us from writing duplicate code. They reduce the amount of typing, a lot of lines you don't need to write in your program. It also makes our program easier to read. And whenever we need to perform the same task multiple times, loops become the best choice. That's why loops are important in our programming. Before learning different types of loop, there are two important terms we should understand about this. And these terms are often confusing for beginners. So we should be clear about repetition and iteration. I'll make you understand in a very simple way. So first, what is repetition? Repetition simply means doing the same task again and again. Whenever a block of code executes multiple times, we call that repetition. So think of repetition as the complete process of repeating the same activity, as you can see in the image. Now, what is iteration? Iteration is each individual execution during that process, as you can see in this image also. I'll make this even more simple by giving a very simple example. So imagine there is a train starts its journey from Delhi 5 a.m. in the morning and reaches Bangalore at 5 p.m. The train follows the same route every day. There is no change in the route. There is no change in any path. So the entire journey from Delhi to Bangalore is repeated daily. This is called repetition. Now imagine that during this journey, the train does not reach directly from Delhi to Bangalore. There are many stations. On that station, train stops as per their schedule. Every time the train reaches one station, stops and then moves to the next station. For example, from station 1, station 2 and so on until station number 15. So complete journey from Delhi to Bangalore repeated every day represents repetition, and each individual station visited during that journey represents an iteration. This is exactly how loops work in programming. So at this point, I want to ask you one question. Suppose a loop executes 10 times. So how many repetitions are happening here and how many iterations is happening here? Just let me know in the comment section. Now the next topic is different types of loop. Values of iterable objects such as arrays. So don't worry about this also. We have not studied about arrays and object. Okay, so now let's start with the for loop. As I already told you, for loop is used when the number of iteration is known. Remember the line number of iteration. Now at this point, you know what is iteration. I'm not going to explain every time. So I will use the term iteration or repetition. So in for loop, you know the number of iteration. This is the syntax of for loop. So for is the keyword here. And then we have initialization, condition, and increment. So this is the syntax. And then inside this curly bracket, code to be executed. Whatever code we need to perform here, we will write inside this curly bracket. So this is the syntax. So let me write for let num is equal to 1 semicolon num. Okay, let me stop here. First is initialization. You know what is let. Num is variable here. I have just initialized the counter. You can say this num variable is the counter. I just given counter initialized with value 1. This is called the loop counter. And I am starting its value from 1. You can start it from another value as well. So always remember initialization happens only once. The next is the condition, and I will write the condition here. I want to print number from 1 to 10. This is our requirement. I'll print number 1 to 10. So initialization has been done. Now my counter will start from 1. Now I'll have to give the condition, and if the condition is true, the loops continue. If the condition becomes false, the loop stops immediately. So what is our condition? My condition to print number, num is less than or equal to 10. We already studied about this operator. We know what it will do. This is just the condition. Then again semicolon. The another is the increment. What is the increment? Num. And then what was the syntax? Start curly bracket, end curly bracket. And I just need to print number from 1 to 10. Just for printing, use console.log and num. That's it. This is the variable. Let me comment this until here. So if I run, see it is printed 1, 2, 3 until 10. So now understand the execution sequence of this for loop. First variable num is created and the value is initialized to 1. So the current value of this num is 1 and it will be executed only once, as we already know about it. Then in the step 2, condition will check, JavaScript will check num value. It is less than or equal to 10. Yes, it is. So it becomes true. Then JavaScript will enter. In the step 3, it will enter to the loop. And the current value of num is 1. So it will print 1. Now in the step 4, after the loop body finishes, JavaScript executes the num plus plus, and now the value of num will be incremented by 1 and it will become 2. And in the step 5, it will again check the condition and it is still less than or equal to 10. It means it is true. Again, JavaScript will enter the loop and print the console.log num. This time it will print 2. So this process will repeat until num value will be 10. When num value will become 11, then condition will become false and JavaScript will exit from the loop. I have attached two flow diagrams image for your reference. Whatever I have explained you, these are a visual representation of that all explanations. You can take a note of it and see how for loop executes. Whatever the requirement to write a table, just multiply the counter, the number with that number. If I need the table of 19, I'll just multiply it by 19. See, within a fraction of a second, we get the table of 19. So by this way, you can use the for loop in our programming. Now the next type of loop is the while loop. And I already explained the while loop executes a block of code as long as a specified condition evaluates to true. Let's see the syntax of this while loop. So this is the syntax while, then you will define the condition here, and inside this curly bracket, inside this scope, you will write the code. So unlike the for loop, in while loop, we don't usually focus on the number of repetitions. Remember this. Instead, we focus on the condition only. Let's understand this syntax first. While is the keyword, as you know, it is a JavaScript keyword and that starts the loop. Next is the condition, and JavaScript will check this condition before every iteration. If the condition is true, the loop executes. If the condition is false, JavaScript immediately exits the loop. So simple. So let me write a code first. So here we will define the variable first. Let, again I will use the number, num is equal to 1. Okay, then while, what is our condition? Num value is less than or equal to 5. That's it. Start the curly bracket, end the curly bracket, and then inside it write console.log num, and then we will write the num plus plus. So I have initialized the num variable and given the value 1. It will check first condition num is less than equal to 5. Yes, it is. It will print that value and then it will increment. Again, it will come and check the condition. If it is true, it will print until it will become 6. Let's run it. Same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same result. We got it here. The way of writing the code is different. Here the keyword is different. Output is the similar. Always use a while loop when the number of repetition is not known in advance. So the loop simply continues until the required condition becomes false. Next is the do while loop. The do while loop is similar to the while loop but guarantees that the code block will be executed at least once before the condition is checked. This is the major difference between do while and while loop. See the syntax first. So this is the syntax of do while loop. See, starts with do keyword and then curly bracket started here. You will write the code first. After the curly bracket, you will write while. You will define the condition here. See carefully here in the while loop. Here it is the syntax of this while loop. The condition is checked first. See, while then condition. In the do while loop, the code execute first. Whatever code you will write, it will execute first, and only after that the JavaScript check the condition. Even if the condition is false for the first time, at least the code will run at once. So it is similar like पहले इस्तेमाल करें फिर विश्वास करें. So jokes apart, the code will run at least once, even the condition is false. Let's see in the example. So if I write let I is equal to 1. Okay. This time I have used the variable I. Do is the keyword. Then what is start the curly bracket. And inside this scope, write the code console. I'll just print the value I. Then similar thing, increment it. And after this, I will write while I is less than equal to 5. Okay. Let's see what happened. So this is the code written, run it. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is working same because I is 1. It will print I value. First time it is 1. It will increment by 1. It will become 2. Now it will come and check the condition. Yes, it is less than. It will repeat for the same time. Once it will become 6, the loop will exit. But what I will do, just clear it. Condition is defined I is less than or equal to 5. Okay. What will happen if I'll make it just I is greater than or equal to 5? For the first time, I is defined 1. Condition is I is greater than or equal to 5. For the first time, the condition is false, but it will print. Let's see what's the result. See, 1 is printing here. Even the condition is false, JavaScript is printing the value for the first time. So this is the biggest difference between and only difference between while and do while loop. So in do while loop, at least the program will run at least once, even the condition is false. Okay. I hope you got it. So the next two loops are remaining, and that loops are the for of and for in. And I think these two loops I will not cover in this video because it is not making any sense. As of now, I have not explained about objects and arrays. I am covering the topics one by one. So once I will cover the JavaScript object and arrays, at that time I'll explain you what is for, how we can use for in and for of loop. The next topic is the control flow in loops. So now let's learn how to control the execution of loop. So we have two statements here, break and continue. A break statement immediately stops the loop and transfer control to the first statement after the loop. So this is the break statement. I have written a simple example. Let's print first without break what it is printing. Run the program. It is printing number 1 to 10. But if I'll write break, if I is equal to 5, once I will become 5, it means at this point JavaScript will check, okay, the I value is 5. It will come to line number 5. There is a break statement written here. It will stop executing loop here and come outside the loop. Let's see. Clear this first and run it. See, once I is equal to 5, our loop stops executing. That's the purpose of break. As I told you, break statement immediately stops the loop. Next statement is continue, control statement. And this continue statement, what it will do? It will skip the current iteration and moves directly to the next iteration of the loop. For example, if you are studying in 5th standard and you want to go to the 7th, you will just skip the 6th standard. If I write continue, let me clear it and run the program. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5 is skipped. If I'll make it 3 and I will run the code, see this time 1, 2, 4. So it is skip. Whatever condition you will define here, it will skip. It is not necessary that you can define only one condition here. You can use and or condition inside this if condition. The another example we will take in the next video, in the practical video. So I think that's all for today's video. We studied about loops in today's video. The whatever concepts, whatever topics we studied until this video, I'll use all concepts combined and together and write the code in the next video. So until then, revise today's concepts by yourself, practice the simple examples, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.